When you hear the name Elizabeth Holmes, you may think of Theranos and the fraud story, but you may also think about her voice, that artificial baritone that almost sounded like a caricature. Now, clearly Elizabeth Holmes did not understand vocal technique, but what she did understand is that voice shapes perception. The problem for her is that she attempted to do so by dominating her voice and overriding her physiology. But the opportunity for us is she's an ideal case study. She is a masterclass on what not to do with the voice, which shows us what does work. So today we're going to mine her vocal technique for 3 lessons that you can use for more authentic command in your voice. Welcome to Read the Room. I'm Mary Falkenstern. Let's begin. To frame these 3 lessons, we need to name the big myth that drove everything that Elizabeth Holmes did with her voice, which is lower pitch equals more authority. Now, if we look throughout history, we have some evidence of this, of course, because for centuries, most of our leaders have been men, and men have lower voices. But if we look to today's leaders, that just doesn't hold up, especially if we look to women like Jacinda Ardern or Whitney Wolfe Herd. These women have grounded voices, but not particularly low ones. So it cannot be that having a low pitch is a prerequisite for having high levels of leadership. But there is something, or some combination of things, that lead to more gravitas in the voice. So what is that? Well, to answer that question, I would like to contrast Holmes with somebody else, a more prolific public figure who also was known for lowering her voice, but with very different results. Margaret Thatcher. The common misperception about Thatcher's infamous voice work was that she set out to lower her pitch. But the reality was a much more nuanced story. So what happened was she got feedback that she sounded too shrill. And so she was connected with voice experts at the National Theater who worked with her. Now, these were people like Kate Fleming. She would not work with anybody, let alone a prime minister, on artificially lowering a pitch. What they likely worked with her on is breath support, resonance, and sophisticated speech mechanics. Now, if you listen to the before and after of Margaret Thatcher, even when she was younger, you hear that her voice has a through line to the post-coaching.
I've done a good deal of other speaking, but speaking in the House of Commons is quite different. It's a unique experience.
So you mustn't ever, if I might say so, look at the British economy as if we produce a fixed amount and no more. The object of this is to start to grow again.
So now let's come back to Miss Holmes, who was not working with support at all. She was chasing pitch, and we do have evidence of that. It is almost impossible to find a clip of Elizabeth Holmes prior to Theranos. I was not able to do it, but I did find one clip of her where she slips into her natural register for about 1 minute. And in this clip, you can hear her natural voice. And it's really interesting, and you may never have heard it before. So I would like to play a few seconds of this, and I want you to notice the ease and also the potential.
And so they did this, what would have been a finger stick on this little nub on his arm, and he broke into tears because up until that point, the way that they had had to draw blood is through a needle in his neck.
Now, here's the baritone she was known for.
This is what happens when you work to change things, and first they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
Okay, without any commentary on vocal technique, that tone is distracting. Her pitch is taking the foreground over her message. So what can we learn from these 2 contrasting figures? Without further ado, 3 voice lessons from Elizabeth Holmes. Lesson number 1, find your optimal pitch. Holmes pitched her voice lower than was natural. We could just hear that in the clips. Now, she was off voice. This is what voice clinicians would call not speaking on her optimal pitch. Your optimal pitch is where you get the most resonance with the least amount of effort. And so it's where you're going to have the most command in your voice. It's not one note. It's 2 to 3 semitones, and you don't just speak on it, but it's like the home base that your voice keeps coming back to. A quick way to find it is to say, Like, don't think about it, just say, That second syllable, is usually where your optimal pitch likes to be. Lesson number 2, where the eyes go, the voice flows. A lot of people say that what was creepier than Elizabeth Holmes's voice was her eye contact. She didn't blink. She was glaring through people. Now, to a voice specialist, we'd go, yeah, because the two are connected. The part of your brain that recognizes faces is next to the part of your brain that modulates your voice. This is not an accident. It's by design. We are not engineered just to make sound. We're speaking to connect. Instead of focusing on vocal variation or modulation, focus on your quality of connection, the way that you're seeing people, and make sure that that's in alignment with your message. So that's number 2, where the eyes go, the voice flows. Lesson 3, defensiveness has a sound. Okay, so up until this point, we've been talking about Elizabeth Holmes on the offense.
I'm Elizabeth Holmes. I'm the founder and CEO of Theranos.
Under pressure, her voice changes quite a bit. When you see her in the Wall Street Journal interview after her expose, you don't even need to hear it. Just put it on mute and you'll see her body posture is slumped. Her head is jutting forward out of alignment. So you already know she's going to have a problematic vocal delivery. But there's 2 things that she's doing that just broadcast defensiveness. Number 1 is her jaw starts to tighten. When that happens, the voice goes into the nasal cavity. And the other thing she starts to do is clip her voice up like this.
That has nothing to do with what we can run on our devices in our lab. Okay. It has nothing to do with our tests. It has nothing to do with our testing methodology or the accuracy or performance of it.
Both of these are universal signals that you're on the defense, you're guarded, and you're basically fighting. So what does this mean for us? Well, when you notice that you're on guard, and this can happen, it usually blindsides us, although there are times we know we might be on guard, like a performance review. If you feel your body starting to grip, you'll notice it most likely in the jaw. Some people will feel it in the back of the tongue. Just tell yourself to relax those muscles. And what you're doing is you're vocally letting the guard down. It's like you're putting the armor down. So 3 lessons from Elizabeth Holmes. Number 1, find your optimal pitch. Number 2, where the eyes go, the voice flows. And number 3, defensiveness has a sound. Drop the jaw to drop the guard. Now, I want you to remember that the voice will always tell the truth. For Elizabeth Holmes, it exposed a house of cards. For you, I hope that it conveys authenticity, the authority, and the power that you're capable of. I hope this was helpful. If you like this, please subscribe for more, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.